I think we are live. We are live, Sandy. You are on.
Beautiful. Thank you, Matt. Welcome, everybody, today to the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. You are joining us for Rise Up Breathwork here at the People's Congregation, 63 Washington Street. We do invite you to come down and enjoy any of these offerings live in person, or you can catch us streaming on YouTube or here on Facebook. The People's Congregation would like to invite everybody to this week's Integrated Recovery Practices Support Group on Friday, which is a sober or alcohol-free night. I believe this week is going to be led by, I think it was Anna doing Yoga Nidra.
I
I'm
think
almost positive. Or did we switch that up?
it's Jessica.
It's going to be Jessica this
Yeah.
week. Okay.
Yeah.
So some kind of a meditation and art exploration then, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then
Yeah.
right. And then Matt, I heard you're going to be taking the Bliss Bus out this weekend on a little adventure. Where are you going to be?
Yeah, I'm gonna be up in Swansea, New Hampshire for the Northlands Music Festival. So if anyone's coming up there Friday or Saturday, I'll be located next to the Bliss Dome and working with that group and offering sound healing and breathing. And if anyone needs I'll be doing 2 morning seminars on the breath. And then I think I'm doing a sound healing actually with another guy. So 2 of us are going to be doing that together, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty pumped for that. And then I think, during the music and during the day, we'll be there to just help support people if they need a space as well.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that you're taking the show on the road, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course that's like a family-friendly music festival. So it's really nice to see that a lot of these festivals are starting to incorporate wellness and healing, and kind of like these sober areas for people who want to do something besides get drunk at a music festival. So that's definitely a sign that things are moving in the right direction for the church, and especially for getting that bus out. I thank you, because she's much happier when she's out and about. So thanks for keeping her
Just
happy.
sit in your driveway all day.
Yeah, right. She's got like things to do and people to see
Yeah.
and meet. So today, Matt, I'm really excited to do some breathing with you, because it's like we're approaching, I can't even believe it, the middle of the year. Like summer solstice is just around the corner. The days are so long. We're already overextending ourselves. This is for a lot of us the last week of school. So there's graduation parties. It's a very celebratory time of year, but because of that, it can also be a time of excess. A lot of extra sugar, a lot of extra celebrating means, maybe you're not putting your self-care first. So this show and this congregation is here to remind you to stop and smell the roses, people. Take a minute to breathe. Don't forget to take your shoes off. Get your feet on the ground in the sand and your hands in the dirt. It's that time of year. So you guys are gonna notice that I'm gonna be like, blessed be the technology for the summer, and I'm gonna be doing this a lot remotely. And then hopefully we're also gonna start getting our Friday night groups outside. So it's really imperative that people sign up for the newsletter, because it's not going to be like, oh, just meet at the church necessarily on Friday nights. It could be like, meet at the church, but if you show up late, we actually took the bus to the beach, and this is where you can actually find us. So we really want to practice what we preach. We want to get ourselves out in nature more, maybe some moonlight meditations. Who knows what's in store. We're going to have a meeting about this again on Friday and try to lay out our calendar for the year so that everybody can kind of be in the know. And as we know, we're booking into like October now, right, Matt? So
Yeah. Two of us did put down some dates that we're gonna do. Then, and then I'll have to put down specifically what we're gonna be doing, because I think that's gonna be so important. I think it's so beautiful that we're keeping it alive. Summer, but at the same time, like you said, for people to do that little extra step, sign up for the newsletter, like you said, and have the awareness of what we're doing if we're leaving, taking advantage of beautiful weather.
Yeah, because I always say summer's like a
Yeah.
magical unicorn around here, and just being outside in the sun is the best way to alleviate suffering in my book, after the long winters here. So I'm going to get myself comfortable. I'm going to set my intention over here on my couch. I got my little shrink set up over here, so I'm going to go get comfy, and I'm going to let you take it away.
Yeah, I'll take you off camera too. So
Cool.
See if I can remember how to do this. Oh, there we go. Not bad.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
a little savvy, but that's more thanks to Stan. Anyways, I'm just going to invite everyone just for a moment to bring your awareness to your breath and just breathe in any way that you need to right now. Just bring your awareness to your breath and let's just become quiet for a moment. Yeah, just dropping into the stillness. I'm just going to come at with where I'm at today because I think where I've been at is it's good to own it, and it's good for anyone who's listening to this to know that we're all still human, and even though I'm finding myself in more of a loving, compassionate nature, more open, more present, more aware of. I think as the awareness rises, as our presence rises, for me, the awareness is almost like a word that doesn't cover it anymore. Um, but at the same time, I'm still human. Um, and so I've been in a place where I wasn't finding the breath this morning, feeling like I had to do a whole bunch of stuff that I really didn't want to do. It was unplanned, and it just happens to be like a busy day already, and this just intensified it. So where I'm at is not finding the breath, feeling really super uncomfortable in my body, not feeling safe, not feeling relaxed. The energy is very unsettling, and I don't like it. It's super uncomfortable, and I've been trying to do little things all morning. Like I went and tried to sit in the sauna for a few minutes, and just like nothing was really working. Um, but I think sometimes the trick is I've been kind of calming down, as like the hours pass, but it's been taking me a while. And so it's been a series of what we've talked about earlier a couple podcasts ago. We brought up a few times, just like taking like a quick pause or just finding the breath once or twice. And so have been finding myself to keep coming back and just to sit with it for a second. But then I go back into the mind and then I start rushing and going back into that discomfort. And then I go back into like the breath for like a quick 5 seconds and then that lasts 30 seconds. And then, so it's been this process today of, for me to really struggling to find the breath. And I think it's important to bring this up because I think it's hard for all of us at times, and especially if you're somewhat new to this, um, just finding the habit to establish like that awareness of like, I don't like how I feel in the body right now. And so for myself, this would be the perfect situation if we went back in time where I would just be like grabbing that external blanket of security. So the external blanket for me was um, um, mostly like cocaine or smoking crack or uh, was one part of it. Another part of it was just being really rageful and just expressing enormous amounts of anger of anyone who came into my pathway. And for some reason that was calming. I don't know why, but or both of them really. Um, and so the difference being that back then, the discomfort within me was I filled that need of discomfort through the external um, through external tools that served a purpose, regardless of how destructive they may have been, but they did serve a purpose. But today, I don't need to do that. I can kind of stay in tune with the body and kind of fight with it, and kind of bring myself back. And even like I had to go to the laundromat and take care of washing some stuff, which I still need to go back and get after this. Um, and part of what brought me down too is I ran into a gentleman who is on the streets, and we had like a long talk. And he's someone that I have run into and have helped out, and on many occasions over the years, and have taken him out to lunch, gotten him food, that type of stuff. Um, sorry about forgot to turn my phone off. So, anyways, but the combination, and then just being able to be there for him was also like to be present for. It doesn't matter what his situation is, you know. But even when we're in the midst of like a little bit of chaos within ourselves, to find the breath is a tool to start calming down that nervous system. And even just having a heartfelt conversation with someone was like super peaceful. It was just a very um, honest, open discussion that we were having, and it kind of put me in check too. Like, my shit's not that bad. My stuff isn't that bad. It's just a thing that's testing where Matt is today, and I wasn't close to being perfect with it, and it's still a little bit unsettling in the body even now as I speak, and I can feel the energy. It's much more mild. So a part of this work of finding the breath. So let's just take a moment and just breathe into that. And wherever you're at today, I'm just going to invite you right now to let's just focus on breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I'm just going to invite you to really tune in to how are you feeling today? How is your body? How is the energy within you feeling? And just discover this inner self through the breath. And just remember that when you find the energy that's not maybe settled or maybe even overexcited, to breathe into that energy and then to disperse it, to spread it out through the exhale. So for me right now, it's a lot of my heart space, and my throat is really activated right now. So I want to extend the exhale, and this is what I was forgetting to do when I was catching myself breathing earlier. I wasn't extending the exhale, allowing for the nervous system to come down. So even though I had the awareness to bring in the breath, but I really wasn't using it to its full capacity because I was just bringing my awareness to breathing for a moment. And as we're on this journey, staying with your breath, breathing into the body, and just really knowing how you feel. How's the activation within you? And just give yourself a break. I'm just envisioning right now, like, like it's just like putting a snowball or a ball on top of a hill and rolling it down. And it's just like, it just keeps building up momentum and it's hard to stop it. But the breath can slow it down. With that extended exhale, and really, maybe even for myself, I'm finding myself blowing out every little piece of oxygen in me right now, just to really even bring that nervous system down a little bit more. And we're just going to enjoy, like, just the vibration of my voice and the stillness and quietness today. And just to become comfortable with this, just being with ourselves. And if you feel like you need to speak to yourself, allow for yourself to, I love you, speak that to yourself. I feel like the breath can say this to me. I feel like the breath is saying, I am here to comfort you, to relax you, to wrap you up in that blanket and hold you like a mother holding a baby. I feel like that's the breath speaking to me, like, I can do this for you. I'm here for you. And as you're breathing and tuning into the body, just listen to what the body's saying. And if you need to move or shift or stretch while you're focusing on the breathing, if you need to make a sound, anything like that, just hear what the body's asking for. Like, even just moving my neck right now just made me realize, like, how stiff it was. And I didn't even have that awareness to it, but I know that the throat was activated. So you're really seeing me, like, trying to work on what I preach. And I think, as Sandy was bringing up, like, summer solstice. I also feel like this is also a time of a lot of change and uncertainty. People taking that risk in changing life and changing our routines and patterns, and reaching out to something that's even more beautiful, to grow more. It's easy for me to say to you, you're in this good place, you don't need to change or grow anymore. And sometimes people say that in general, like, and that statement is, like, so false, because life is about that constant expansion. And when we think of the expansion and when we step into another role, it's no different than what I'm going through this morning. You know, something changed with my day, and it created this hyper discomfort within my system. And even though my role and what I'm doing is drastically changing as I try and find and create this new beautiful pathway, but I feel like there's many of us who have been doing this thing, and all of a sudden, for me, I felt like my job was also at the same time restraining me. Like, as much as I loved what I did, but it was holding me back. It had like these little restraints on there, and I was just like, I want to go do this, but I can't. And so it's letting go. It's letting go of my frustration from this morning with the breath, and just staying in tune with your own breath. It's letting go of maybe something we have created and built that's so beautiful, but sometimes we have to let it be what it is and then step away so that we can open up and create something else that's even more beautiful. And it's not like this isn't going to be here still. It's just a part of who we are, what we've built, the legacy that has been built, and then building on top of it and just building like another layer of beauty. So I'm just going to invite everyone just to really tune into what's going on with you right now in your journey. Allowing for any thoughts to come up, and then to recognize, acknowledge your thought, and then take a pause and tune into the body and just check and see how that feels for you. Is it scary? Does it feel right? And just breathe into it and just allow for the breath to keep it balanced. Don't let the nervous system take over. Extend that exhale out. And just taking a moment to see where we're at with our journey, and if we are experiencing any shifts or changes, or time to gently part ways with something. Still kind of be there for it, but maybe we need to kind of part ways a little bit, 90% of who we are or what we've put into it, as we kind of shift our attention and energies into new projects, more love that can be offered. And maybe as you're discovering wherever you're at right now, just to feel how beautiful the shift or the change may be as well. And just bring in that beautiful energy of where are you going, and to bring in the energy of what that is, like the end result. Like, can you imagine the end result of wherever you're at right now? Whether it's creating a new pathway, opening new doors that are It may be scary to step into that darkness because we don't know what's in that door fully. But just imagine whatever doorway you need to open for yourself. I just invite you to take a moment and just imagine the outcome that you would like to have for whatever doorway you're stepping into. What outcome do you see? And not only to maybe even bring that up in the mental mind, but I'm going to invite you to go even just a little bit deeper and breathe it into the body and feel the energy and the joy of this new expression of yourself. So let's just fall into that for a moment. Whatever's alive for you, if it's me just trying to calm the nervous system down and just go into my day of just being back in bliss and joy and happiness. Or are you on a new pathway as well? So both fall in alignment with me. So as I step into this pathway, how does it feel to be successful, that it all worked out so beautifully? And just to really feel into what's not here maybe yet, but put the energy out there for how it's going to feel when you're successful. So just fall into the breath, breathing in through the nose. And just breathing out through the mouth into the stomach, maybe even breathing into the stomach and drawing the energy up into the heart on the inhale, and then exhaling out. Just really let's open up our whole system here for a moment. Into the stomach a little bit, and into the chest. Feel that expand heart. And just feel what's coming alive. Like for me right now, it's like a little emotional as well. So I'm just going to feel into that and breathe into that for a second. Maybe just keep that awareness to extending that exhale out. And moving if you need it. Also with the heart, I sometimes like to lean back and draw my shoulders back. And I can't take ownership for this, so I'm just gonna. But I loved how I did this yoga class yesterday, and the instructor just kept saying, as we're maybe stressing out with the move, trying to open something up, and she just kept bringing up just bring a little smile to your face, just kind of. And I think and it was just so beautiful bringing that in. So maybe just let the corner of your lips come up a little bit and just remember to smile just a little bit and bring that into play. And just knowing that the breath can hold you, we can support ourselves. I can hold my system. I don't need to reach out to anything that's going to hurt me. I can find the safety within my body. Find the safety within my breath. Find the safety in comfort of just cracking a little smile at myself and let that, and maybe just bring that smile back again and allow for that smile to go inside you. Imagine that for a moment. Just bring a smile to your face, whatever you can do. And then breathe into that smile. Just breathe that energy of the smile into your body. And then just exhale that beauty of how good that feels, not only within your body, but even around you. And just fall into that for a moment. That just really calmed my system down. So, since I've been owning my junk, my stuff today, I'm just going to own one more piece. And this is just really me just expressing because it helps me, but hopefully it helps others out there. And just because knowing that, I may be sitting here guiding this breath or, uh, to have whatever ability to help lead or to help expand myself and others. Um, but, it's not like like I've said before, I'm not void of junk either. So, but even another piece that's brought up stress within me and discomfort is like actually even just the rebuilding of the community that I'm in is hard for me. Um, I think it's important to understand that a part of my journey was in my darkness. I was really social, was very verbal, still whatever, but in this pathway for me, um, it led me to a place of um, really cutting off ties with all people except unless it was work related or family. Outside that, it was just self study and just cutting off all relationships um, for years. Um, and then stepping back into developing like a new community has been hard because it's like a different way of being social. It's starting to allow people into your life again in a deeper way than even family or obviously work relationships. And then rebuilding that structure again within the journey, which is so important to have the community because the breath, like I said, it can be the mother, it can be the security blanket. The breath can hold me in here. But we all need community as well. Um, and that's a part of what we're offering here, with the Friday night groups and just everything. It's just all about bringing in that community with Soul Saturday and just like everything. It's just all very beautiful, but it can be hard as well too. Um, but the more we can tap in and just feel into it, and maybe even I'm just really feeling for a moment to, I guess we're both guilty of that, huh, Sandy? Everyone's forgetting their phone today. I'm really feeling like just to breathe in. I forgot what I was going to say now. What's coming to me right now is to breathe. Breathe in through your nose, out through the mouth again. Extended exhale. Just bring your awareness back to that. And then just to feel into whatever is really beautiful that's coming alive for you, whatever flower is growing within you and expanding out. And as this flower grows, and whatever discomforts that may come with it, there can be triggers here as we step into alignment with who we are, as we develop and grow a new community of people. It can bring stuff up and it can bring discomfort, even though what we're stepping into is so beautiful and so heartfelt. But it can trigger and bring up the fears within us. And so I'm just going to invite you just again to breathe into the heart space, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and focusing on drawing the energy into the heart space. And allowing for the space just to comfort any unease that may come up as we expand and ascend into a more beautiful place. And to let that out. And then to bring that smile in again, so to crack the lips up a little bit. And to breathe that smile into your body. And I guess maybe for today, the message being to listen into our hearts, use our breath to help comfort us like a mother, like that blanket for an infant, to be held through the breath. And to know that as our vibration changes and our energy changes and more beautiful people come into the pathway, and just breathing in that that's okay and I can do this. Because in the end, we're just really raising that vibration and that sense of joy within. And we can keep climbing that ladder little by little. And shifting more into that beauty, into that loving space. And start shifting through the discomforts maybe a little bit faster, not staying there as long. And knowing that you have this. We can all do this. Just bring the awareness to the breath. And I'm just going to invite you to breathe that smile one more time and match it with your heart energy for a second. So just breathe into the heart, breathe into the smile, and let this energy disperse throughout your entire being and around your energy field outside of you on your exhale. So breathe into the smile, breathe into the heart, feel the love, the joy, and just fill everything around you with this energy right now on that exhale. Maybe even blow it around and move your head side to side and really blow this energy out all around you. And now I'm going to invite you to one breath hold. And so in a moment, I'm just going to explain it first. We'll just take a nice deep breath in through the nose, hold it up at the crown. And then whenever you're ready, just release it. And then I just invite you to just drop into the sensation of it. So in 3, 2, 1, large inhale up to the crown. Hold when you're ready for as long as you can. Don't go to extreme discomfort though, please. And when you let it go, just drop in and just check, where are you right now? How are you? Are you maybe a little bit more alive? Maybe feeling the cells be more activated? And then I just invite you just to bring some small movement back, bringing your awareness back to the space that you're sitting or laying on, the room that you're in. And just to slowly flicker the eyes open. And just bring yourself back to the present moment. I feel like I was very jumpy with that today, but it was where I'm at. And I think it's good for the listeners to know that, we all go to these places regardless of who we are and what we do. Yeah. How are you feeling?
Oh, sorry. I thought I was muted. I didn't mean to cough in the camera.
Okay. I'll put you back on screen.
So this is like so funny. Well, it's not so funny. Like I sound like such a valley girl.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. But so I've been going through my things because I've been, moving. I've been, it's this time of year. It's spring, right? So spring cleaning, cleansing. So anyway, long story. I had a box of stuff And this was a book that is actually I borrowed from a friend, and I almost read this before you started, but I had read this earlier, and it's so funny because you didn't know that I read this, but it went along so well with the journey today. So this is a book called The Secret, or well, it's The Power, but it's also written by the same man that wrote The Secret. So feeling is creation. Every time you love through your feelings, words, or actions, you add more love to the field around you. The more you give, the greater and more powerful is your magnetic field. Whatever is in your magnetic field is attracting to itself and to the love in the field. And the more power that you have in this field, the more you will attract the things that you love. You can get to a point where the magnetic power in your field is so positive and strong that you can have a flash of imagining and feeling of something good, and within no time it will appear in your life. So I just think that that was such a powerful like exercise. Just like opening the heart, breathing into the heart, imagining the end game if you only were to use your energy to expand, and attract love.
Yeah.
And so I like when you were like, "Oh, bring in the smile." It was so funny because like I started like almost like giggling and then like crying because I was like, "Oh, that's like when I was like, oh, I'm going to go over to the couch and set my intention." It was to increase my own personal power by increasing my capacity to love.
Yeah.
Because essentially, like that's and again, because we use the word power. Power is one of those words. Like, again, this book is called The Power, and I always think about like that word has just always been one of those words that I think a lot about. I mean, we talk a lot about how words have power
Yeah.
in our congregation, right? And so, what is the meaning of that word power? And I think that it depends on how you choose to use it. And we talked a lot about like tools, and we've been talking a lot about how like a tool can be a weapon if you hold it right. That was an Ani DeFranco quote. But,
Yeah.
a tool can be overused and abused, or a tool can be, everything can be used for good or evil, right? So power is such an interesting word. So the power of love, I like bringing it back to that. And that's going to be what I'm going to think about over the next couple of months. I also wanted to throw out, if anybody is going to be at the Psychedelic Science Conference, that's where I'm going to be. And I'm going to be trying to figure out, what the future looks like. And I think we have a lot of power right now. We have a lot of potential right now. We have a lot of, like you touched on this, Matt, there's a lot of transformation happening right now with the
Yeah.
world. We've got Trump hiding in his bathroom, sitting on his toilet, reading his hidden documents. When like, homeboy, have you ever heard of a shredder? Have you ever heard of a bonfire? So, it's like, I think the rest of the world knows it's time to burn it down. I think he didn't get the
Yeah.
memo, but anyway, yeah. So as we continue to shift paradigms and as we continue to take our healthcare into our own hands, I think it's always important to remember that love starts within. Love starts with self-care. The breath is this amazing free tool that you pointed out is accessible and with us all the time. And sometimes we lose it. And it's like a lot of things in life, you just find it again.
Yeah.
So thanks for the reminder, Matt.
Yeah. And something beautiful that you just mentioned as well too. It's like when we begin to raise our awareness and and we're putting that like the energy out, like you were just saying, the power of the heart, and putting it out there, and we attract you know new people. But one of the things I've noticed too in the last week or a couple weeks or whatever is like regardless of how much chaos or anger may be out there, but we really do attract like the beauty and the love, and I've been really noticing it lately in people who I've never met, people I've never spoken a word to, and I'll probably never see most of these people ever again. But it was just, I think as we put that energy out there, I just have been really heightened to this sense of just smiling at people, or people just smiling at me, or just recognizing as we cross paths and there's no words exchanged, I have no idea who you are, and I'll never see you again. But there's just that beautiful, quick 200ths of a second exchange, and I think that's just also can show like as we bring awareness not only around to the people in our lives, but as we're putting this more beautiful energy out there, to even take notice of the strangers in passing and not walking with our head down and just acknowledging everything around us. And all of a sudden we see that attraction. Like I've been really noticing that attraction of where it's just, I'm seeing more beauty than I am of the not so much.
Well, I think it's kind of contagious also. Like if you notice, if you kind of let somebody go in traffic and smile and just be like,
Yeah.
or give like the happy honk, like the, like, go ahead, with like a smile, like that will then change the reaction that that person is going to have to the next person that they
Yeah.
encounter, because if you throw them shade, they're going to throw it back out. It's just this like continuous feedback loop, right? And
Yeah.
we're all connected, and people keep forgetting that we're all connected. I think that's one of the biggest problems plaguing society now. But yeah, no, you're right. Like surround yourself with a room full of people who are smiling and happy and laughing. And like you said, how do you feel within your body versus being around a bunch of people who are just kind of like moping around? Obviously it's just contagious, everything we do. And that's human nature. Somebody yawns, you're going to yawn. It's almost guaranteed. Somebody's laughing and smiling. It's
Yeah.
pretty hard to be like, screw you, dude. So I'm very blessed because I was raised by a man whose nickname is One Happy Guy. I know a thing or two about what it's like to be around happy people, and I'm very blessed, and I don't take that for granted anymore now that I'm in this phase of life. So thanks again, Matt, for everything. I don't even know how, how that phone call got through. It was the power of the favorites, because the phone was in do not disturb, but those favorites get through because,
Yeah.
blessed be the technology.
And
But
I
I
guess,
love you. And I know that like you made a good point about like community and being uncomfortable. And I realized how comfortable I am saying I love you. I say it to the guy that pumps my gas. I say it to homeless people. Like I fucking love you, Matt. And I know that like sometimes that's hard to hear, but thanks for accepting it like a champ.
love you
Because
too.
I love you and we wouldn't be able to do this without you. So thank you for your service.
And
Thanks for
appreciate
being
the
you.
comment today as well. Just wanted to put that out there. And it's like the most we've ever had. So it's just kind of beautiful to see. So I thank everyone for sharing as well too. And yeah, have a beautiful day, everyone. Is there any other last moment
No,
things?
I'm just gonna try not to cry. I'm like, why am I so emo today? Anyway, I'll see you later.
All right, yeah, I'll talk to you soon. And everyone else, we'll see you next week. Have a beautiful week, and hopefully we'll see you here on Friday night, or if I see you up in New Hampshire for the Music Fest at Northlands. I'd love to see some people out there. And yeah, and just reach out to us at any time if you need to talk a little bit further, if you need to breathe a little bit more. We're always here, and we can always be reached. And I'm always happy to hold space if anyone ever needs that.